All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics 4 on your Shopify store the correct way. And I'm also going to show you how to set up conversion tracking so that Google Analytics can track when somebody completes a purchase. And we're also going to connect GA4 to your Google Ads account. So if you are running Google Ads, you can import those conversions into Google Ads so that it optimizes your account for those conversions. So let's get right into it. The first thing you need to do is you're going to need to open Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, and your Shopify store. So I've already got those three open. I'm going to put the links to each of those in the description below, as well as my affiliate link to Shopify. So if you want to support my channel, then click that link and I'll get a small commission if you end up signing up for Shopify. Now, what we first want to do is go to Google Analytics, and you're going to need to make an account if you don't already have one. I already do. However, I need to set up a new account for the Shopify store. So I'm starting completely from zero here so that you can see all of the different steps. So what you want to do is go to admin or set up a new account if you haven't got an account already. And I'm going to create a whole new profile for this. So I'm going to make this as a property in my account for my main account because I've already got a Google Analytics for my main website and my Shopify is a subdomain. What you would need to do is go into create and then hit account. And now you need to go through this process. You would just need to put your account name. You need to tick the boxes that you want to tick, or you can untick them. It doesn't really matter. Say whatever you want, and you can type in the name of the store. So let's go. I'm just going to make this as an example, and then you would hit next. And now we're into property. So I'm about to continue from this section because I've already got the main account. I'm just going to make my property. So I'm going to go back, but you would continue this process. So I've already got the property. So what I need to do is go to create property. So if you're making a store under your main domain, so as a subdomain, you would do it this way. And I'm just going to call it Nefarious Racing Shop because that's what it is. Select the correct time zone and the currency. I'm just going to set this to a middle time zone. All right, and I'm going to hit next. You don't need to do this. You don't need Universal Analytics. It doesn't even collect data anyway, so don't even bother. Hit next. And now you can just fill these out, whatever. I'm just going to do these ones, do this one, hit next. Now you can click whichever one of these you want to click. Basically, this just dictates what reports it's going to give you. I'm just going to hit drive online sales because that's what we're going to be doing with the e-com store and hit create. All right, now what you want to do is hit web. And now you need to type in the URL of your Shopify store. So I am going to type in the subdomain. And now you can call this whatever. So I'm just going to call it Nefarious Racing Shop. I will leave this ticked and I recommend you do the same. These you can typically just leave. I usually just leave them all ticked and then go create stream. And so now it's going to create the data stream in Analytics 4. So now we have the info we need to be able to set up Google Tag Manager. So what you really need is this. So copy this and we're going to go into Google Tag Manager. So now you need to go into Google Tag Manager and create account. Enter the name and select the country. You can do this if you want. I typically don't. And now put in your URL. So mine's shop. And now you want to select web and hit create. And just accept these, hit yes. And now it's going to create your Google Tag Manager account for this store. So now we need to install the Google Tag Manager code into Shopify so that it actually tracks what's going on. So there's two code snippets here. This one goes into the head and then this one goes into the body just in case this one loads. So what you need to do is first copy the top one and then go to your Shopify store, log in obviously, go to online store. Then make sure you hit themes here. And now you want to hit beside the customize button, these three dots, and go into edit code. Now you want to look for the theme.liquid file, and typically every theme will have this file. It's like the base file of how these operate. And in this file, you have this head section up the top here. You need to paste this code right below that. I like to enter a couple of spaces. Paste this right in here. Now, go back to Google Tag Manager, copy the second code. Now what we need to do is scroll down this file and find the body section. So you can just do a search in here and type in body and you'll find it. This is where the body starts. So what you can do here is just make a few spaces here and paste the second code right at the top here in this section. And now you can hit save. Now, what you also need to do is go back and go to settings and then checkout, because what we need to do is put this code in the actual checkout thank you page as well so that it tracks once somebody's actually completed a purchase. So go into checkout under settings, scroll all the way down and you will see this section here, order status page. And now you need to paste this head code again into this section here. And then you hit save. So now Google Tag Manager is going to be reading on your website, and you can now test this. Now, obviously you need to make sure that your store doesn't have a password on it. So make sure you go, if it is a new store and it's still got the password, it needs to be accessible publicly. So what you want to do is just go to preferences, scroll down and just hit unselect that and hit save so that your store can actually be accessed. And now what you can do is go back into Google Tag Manager. We can hit OK. You want to hit preview. And now it's going to open up a new window and you need to enter in the URL of your shop. So shop. Make sure you include the HTTPS. And then you hit connect. And now it's going to open up your shop with a testing tool. Now what you need to do is disable any ad blockers that you might have because it's going to stop the tracking. So I'm just going to have to disable everything. And now, once you've disabled everything, if you had any ad blockers and so on, you can see here now it says Tag Assistant connected. And if we go back to this window that was open, you can see here that it says connected. So this means that Google Tag Manager is now working on your website. So now what we need to do is connect this to the Google Analytics first before we can set up the events and the conversion tracking. So what you do, you can hit stop debugging, you can close this window, and we can now go to Google Tag Manager. So now what we're going to do is set up the tags so that it sends the data to Google Analytics. So you want to go back into this main window, you hit tags. Now we're going to create a new tag. So go new. I just call this GA4 and then I put the measurement ID in the title. So what you want to do is go back to Google Analytics and copy this measurement ID from earlier, paste it in there. Now you don't have to do this. This is just how I do it. So I know what this is actually for. And now you want to go to tag configuration and you need to select Google Tag. So not Google Analytics, but Google Tag. And here under tag ID, you want to paste the tag in and then you want to hit triggering and go all pages. So this is going to trigger the Google Analytics on every page view so that it can track every page. And now you want to hit save. So now what you want to do is hit submit to just make sure that this actually gets submitted to Google Analytics. And then we want to open that preview again. So now it's submitted. What we want to do is go back to the workspace and hit preview. And now what we also want to do is go into Google Analytics, close this, hit next, hit continue. And now we want to go to the debugging view and I'll show you what that is. So if we go to admin down here and go to data display and then go debug. And now once we're in here, it's going to display live any events that happened on your website. So what we want to do is go back to this, make sure you got the right URL, hit connect, let it open. Now it's connected. And now what you should also see here is tags fired, GA4. This is the one we just made. And make sure it's under tags fired. If it's under tags not fired, then you did something wrong and it hasn't fired it. So as long as it's under tags fired, you should be good to go. Now, if we go into Google Analytics and just wait a couple of seconds, it should show up here under the debug events as well. This might take a couple of minutes and sometimes it can help if you actually go on the page and scroll up and down. But basically you can see here, it's triggered the first visit, it's triggered a page view, and it's triggered a scroll as well, which means this is now working correctly. And at this point, your GA4 and your Google Tag Manager has been set up. So that's that. Now we want to go and start setting up the event so that it actually tracks a conversion when somebody purchases an item and completes the checkout. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. But the best way that I have found is to actually install a Google app onto the website so that it actually can track the checkout when somebody adds items to cart. Because unless you're using Shopify Plus, you won't actually be able to track all the steps in the checkout. You'll only be able to add the checkout complete. However, if you do it this way, then it will work. So what you want to do is go into apps and then search Google and go to the App Store. And you want to install this app here, Google and YouTube. And this is going to allow you to connect your Shopify to Google, which is going to give all that data across. So you want to hit that and install this app. So now what you want to do is hit add sales channel. So what we want to do is connect Google account. Now you want to make sure that you're connecting the account that has the Google Ads account you want to use in it if you are going to run Google Ads. And then what we're going to do is just hit allow. And then I'm going to hit this because this allows us to do this without having to go through the Google Merchant Center and everything else. So I'm just going to hit get started here. Connect the Google Analytics 4 account. You need to select the correct property that you want to use. So I've selected my one. I'm going to hit connect. So now it's connected it to the correct property. Okay, and now once you've connected your Google Analytics property here, what's good about this is that it's automatically going to track add to carts and purchases in Google Analytics. So you don't actually have to set these up manually in Google Tag Manager. They automatically show up in Google Analytics. So now, to check that this is all working correctly, we want to go back to Google Tag Manager and we want to hit preview once again. And we want to open that window for testing, and we're going to see if it's transferring the correct events now with this new app. So what we want to do is hit connect. And now what you want to do is click on a product and hit add to cart. And now all of these events should have just been sent to the Google Tag Manager. So what we'll do is we'll hit this. And let's take a look here and see if it has. And you can see here on the left side it has. We've got view item as an event, and we have add to cart as an event. If we hit checkout, we should now also get that as an event as well. We can also see that it has checkout, but the reason why this is not firing is because of the Shopify Plus issue that we mentioned earlier. So with the data that we have here, if you're not running Shopify Plus, you'll be able to see people view the item and add it to cart. So at least you're going to be able to track from add to cart to checkout and see if there's a drop off somewhere in there. Now, if you're using Shopify Plus, you'll be able to see the checkout sections in the middle as well. Now, the last thing you can test here is actually check out on an item and see if the checkout is working correctly as well, because we're going to need that information. So I'm going to do that now quickly and we'll finish the checkout. Okay, so I have now just made a test product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to hit preview again. I'm going to close these windows. I'm going to hit preview again, open it up, and this time open it directly to the product because the product's not listed on my shop. So now we want to make sure that this is actually connected, which it has, as you can see here. Window loaded, view item is even triggered as well, which is really good. And now what we want to make sure is we want to hit add to cart, okay? And then go checkout. And now what you want to do is just actually complete this checkout. And now I'm going to go checkout. And now I'm actually going to complete the checkout. So I'm just going to type in my details. And now we can see that the order went through. So now if we go back to the Google Tag Manager, we can see that we now have event purchase. And now if we go into the Google Analytics debug, you can see here that purchase event has been triggered. So this means that this is now showing up as an event in Google Analytics, which means that the trigger is firing. So once you're seeing this purchase in the actual events in the debug, the next thing you need to do is go and actually add this as a conversion in the Google Analytics events. So what you need to do is go under here, under events, you want to open this, and in here, you're going to see it display. Now, this usually takes around 24 hours. So what you're going to have to do is wait about 24 hours and then come back tomorrow. And in here, you're going to see the event purchase. And what you want to do is you'll see it mark as conversions. I'm going to wait for it to show up and I'm going to come and show you how to do this. All right, now I've come back and you can see that the events are now showing up. Now, if they're not showing up, make sure that you selected the correct date range. You want to make sure that you're on today or on yesterday. If you're not on the right date, they'll still won't show. For instance, if I select today, you'll see it's got none there. So now you can see that there's mark as conversion. And basically, if you want to add any of these to conversion, all you would need to do is press this and it'll go blue. And now what will happen is this will actually track as a conversion under conversions, as you'll see here. If we go to conversions, we've got purchase, now we've got add to cart. And so now this conversion will also be passed to Google Ads once you connect the accounts, and you can optimize your ads for that particular conversion as well. Now, if you're going to be running Google Ads, what you can also do is go into your Google Ads account. So you want to make one, obviously, if you haven't made one. So what you want to do is go into admin and then go into linked accounts. And what we want to do is link our Google Analytics account we just made to the Google Ads account. So what you want to do is go into Google Analytics 4 and this one here. Click manage and link. I've already got one linked for the main website, but I'm going to link this new one I just made as well. And what you want to do is select the one you made from the list. And I'm going to hit link here. I'm going to also tick this and hit link. And this is now going to link the new Google Analytics account. So now it says property successfully linked. And now one other thing you want to do is under app and web metrics, you want to hit activate and make sure you hit that. So now that our accounts are linked and we've got apps and web metrics activated, now we can go into conversions and actually import the conversions from Google Analytics. So what you would want to do is hit add new conversion, import, select GA4 properties, hit web, hit continue. And now it's going to display all of the ones that you have set up as conversions. So you can see here, I have purchase set up from my Nefarious Racing shop one, which I just created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import this one, hit import and continue. And now it's imported it into Google Ads. So now under here, we can see the one we just imported. It comes from Google Analytics. Now there's a couple of things you want to note. So my one is shown up as secondary. So if this happens to yours, this means that it's only going to track the numbers. It won't actually optimize the account for this conversion. So what you need to do is hit this, click on it, and we want to change this to primary so that the account can actually optimize it. So we want to go edit settings. And now here, I want to change this to primary action used, as you can see there. And then I'm going to hit save. And now you can also change these metrics if you want as well. So because we have different values for each purchase, what I'm going to do is use the value from the Google Analytics property. So what's going to happen there is it's going to pass the amount from Google Analytics of the purchase to our Google Ads, which is exactly what you want if all your products are different prices. So make sure that is selected. I'm going to hit save. Now you can also change any of these other things if you want. I'm just going to leave all of these. Typically you can just leave them and then hit done. And so now we go back. The Google Ads account can actually now optimize for this particular conversion event so that it gets more of those when you use something like maximize conversion. So that's how you link everything you've just set up to your Google Ads account so that the conversions are now in Google Ads. So that's it. Now we have set up Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics 4. We've got the events showing up. We've marked them as conversions and we have imported them into Google Ads. So that's all you need to do. And now you can start, running your ads or optimizing your website, getting traffic and making sales and tracking it all. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want me to coach you on how to run a successful Google Ads campaign or do SEO for your Shopify store for only $49 a month, go to learndominatemarketing.com. And if you want us to do your Google Ads or SEO for your Shopify store with guaranteed results, go to dominatemarketing.io, book a call with us there. Catch you on the next one.